I was nearly 400 miles south of Seattle when my phone started buzzing again. Third time in less than 10 minutes. You learn, over time, not to ignore patterns like that. The safety briefing could wait. Mr. Henderson, a calm but strained voice said, "This is Principal Alvarez from Maple Ridge Elementary. Your grandson, Evan, is here in the nurse's office. He asked for you specifically." My stomach dropped. What happened? Where's his mother? We've been trying to reach Laura for over 2 hours, she said. Evan had an incident during recess. He's very shaken. We really need a guardian present. I'm on my way, I said. Please don't let him out of your sight. I hung up and immediately called Laura. Straight to voicemail. Again. Same thing. The third time, she answered. Dad, I'm in the middle of something. The school called, I said. Evan needs you. He's fine, she snapped. That school overreacts. He probably scraped his knee. They said he's shaken. They've been calling you for 2 hours. A pause. I'm at Kyle's place. We're working on one of his renovation jobs. Evan can wait until I'm done. Kyle. I said. Who is Kyle? My contractor. Look, I'll pick Evan up when I'm finished. Tell the school to calm down. She hung up. On me. On her own father. I stared at the phone, then at the conference room door, and then I grabbed my jacket and ran. The drive from Yakima back to Tacoma usually takes 6 hours. I made it in just under 5, calling the school every 30 minutes. Each time, Principal Alvarez sounded more exhausted. Evan keeps asking why his mom isn't answering, she said quietly. We're keeping him comfortable, but there's something else you should know. What? This wasn't just an accident. 3 older boys cornered him behind the portable classrooms. My grip tightened on the steering wheel. Is he hurt? Some bruising. His jacket was torn. But when we first called Laura, Evan heard her on speaker. I felt something go cold inside me. He heard your daughter say, "It's just Evan being dramatic again. I'll deal with it later." I was still hours away, pushing my truck harder than I should have. My grandson was sitting alone in a school office, bruised, scared, knowing his own mother thought he was an inconvenience. When I finally reached Maple Ridge Elementary, it was after 5. The hallways were silent. Principal Alvarez met me at the front doors and led me to the nurse's office. Evan sat on the exam table, his Captain America hoodie ripped at the shoulder, a dark bruise forming along his cheek. "Grandpa," he whispered, and then he broke. I wrapped him in my arms, feeling how tightly he clung to me. This wasn't normal fear. This was abandoned fear. "Eve got you," I said softly. "You're safe now." He pressed his face into my shoulder. "Mom said I was being dramatic," he whispered. "She said it wasn't important." Principal Alvarez handed me the report. "The boys involved have been suspended," she said. "But this isn't Evan's first incident this year." I looked up sharply. "What do you mean?" "This is the 5th report in 3 months. 5. Why wasn't I told?" "We notified Laura every time," she said. "She assured us she'd handle it." I looked down at the dates. 5 calls. 5 chances. 5 times my daughter did nothing. I called Laura again. She answered immediately. "Dad, I told you I'd get him." "It's after 5, I said." Evan was assaulted. "Where are you?" "I was helping Kyle with measurements." These things happen with boys. He needs to toughen up. Something inside my chest went completely still. Your son was cornered by 3 kids. He's been sitting here for 6 hours wondering why his mother didn't come. That's ridiculous. The school called me at 3. They called you at 11. Silence. Then she sighed. I'm a single mother trying to survive. Kyle pays me well. He's teaching me the business. While your son sits alone in a nurse's office. Oh my God, Dad. You're being just as dramatic as Evan. I'm taking him home with me. You can't just take my child. Watch me. I ended the call and turned to Principal Alvarez. I'm listed as an emergency guardian, correct? She nodded. Yes. Secondary contact. Good, I said. He's coming with me. Evan squeezed my arm. Can I stay with you, Grandpa? Please. As long as you need, I said. We stopped by his apartment to pack a bag. Laura wasn't home. The place was a mess, dishes stacked in the sink, homework papers scattered across the floor. Evan's bed looked like it hadn't been made in days. But what caught my eye was the calendar on the fridge. Every weekend for the last 2 months was blocked off with Kyle's remodels written in bold marker. No soccer games. No birthday parties. No school events. Nothing about Evan. The fridge was nearly empty, a little milk, wilted vegetables, and beer. What do you eat for breakfast? I asked. Granola bars, he said quietly. Every day. He nodded. I took photos of everything. Something told me I'd need proof. We were loading Evan's bag into my truck when a black pickup pulled in behind us, not Loris. She stepped out, followed by a man in his 30s, muscular, tattooed, wearing a tight white shirt and a smug grin. What's going on? She snapped. I'm taking Evan, I said. Until you remember he comes first. The man smirked. This the dad causing trouble? My father, Laura muttered. Name's Kyle, he said, extending a hand. Heard a lot about you, old man. I didn't shake it. You're the reason my daughter left her son alone for 6 hours, I said calmly. And that's when everything finally began to come apart. Hey, Laura makes her own choices, the man said. I just offered her work. The moment I mentioned the school calling at 10:45 that morning, his easy grin slipped. Laura told me the school had it handled, he said defensively. The school needed his mother. He shrugged. Look, I don't get involved in family drama. Then he turned to my daughter. Babe, you coming back to finish those measurements? Babe. I looked at Laura, really looked at her. She'd lost weight. Her hair was bleached almost white now, nothing like the dark brown she used to have. Heavy makeup. Clothes that looked expensive, the kind she never wore before. Is there something going on I should know about? I asked. I'm working, she snapped. Rick is teaching me a trade. On a school day, I said. While your son is sitting hurt in a nurse's office. She crossed her arms. You're judging me. You always do. I'm stating facts. You don't understand, she said sharply. After Mark left, I had to rebuild my whole life. Rick's helping me become independent. By teaching you to ignore your child. Evan is fine. You're blowing this out of proportion. I opened the passenger door of my truck. Evan sat there silently, watching everything with wide eyes. Does he look fine to you? Laura glanced at him, then looked away. He's always been sensitive. He's 8, I said. And he was assaulted today. Look at his face. She finally looked properly. The bruise. The torn sleeve. For a second, something flickered in her eyes. Guilt, maybe. Then Rick placed his hand on her shoulder. Laura, We should head back. That drywall's not going to measure itself. The flicker vanished. Dad, she said, firm now, I appreciate you picking Evan up. I'll take him home. No. Excuse me. He stays with me until you prove you can put him first. You can't do that. I'm his mother. Then act like it. I got into my truck. Evan, buckle up. Laura grabbed the door. Dad, wait. You can't just take him. Call me when Rick's gone, I said, and you remember you have a son. I pulled away, watching her in the rearview mirror. She looked angry. But she didn't look worried. That told me everything. Evan was quiet for the first hour of the drive back to my place in Centennial. Then, barely above a whisper. Is Mom mad at me? No, buddy. She's confused. Sometimes adults make bad choices. Is Rick her boyfriend? Smart kid. I think so. I don't like him, Evan said. He's mean to Mom sometimes. My hands tightened on the steering wheel. What kind of mean? He says she's stupid. Or getting fat. Once he threw his coffee cup because she made it wrong. I swallowed. I was supposed to be doing homework, but I could hear them through the wall. I wanted to turn the truck around. But Evan needed calm, not more chaos. How long has this been happening? Since summer. Mom met him when she was trying to get the bathroom fixed. He said he'd do it cheap if she helped with his jobs. 4 months. 4 months of my daughter choosing a man over her child. At my house, I made Evan his favorite dinner, grilled cheese and tomato soup. He ate 3 sandwiches. Afterward, he asked if he could call his mom. I handed him my phone and stepped into the hallway, but I could still hear him. Mom, it's me. I'm at Grandpa's. Pause. No, I'm okay. Pause. They pushed me. One of them pulled my hair really hard. Another pause. I know, okay. I love you too. He came out with red eyes. Mom says she'll pick me up tomorrow after Rick's job is done. That night, I texted Laura. Evan stays here until we have a serious conversation about his safety and your priorities. This isn't negotiable. She replied just after midnight. You're overreacting. I'm picking him up Tuesday. I called an old friend of mine, Harold. We'd worked together for decades before retirement. Had been a family law attorney before switching careers and now consulted part-time. Been a while, he said. What's going on? I need legal advice. I told him everything. The school incidents. Laura's absences. Rick. The empty fridge. The bruise. He was quiet for a long time. What you're describing, he said carefully, sounds like neglect. I'm not trying to take Evan from his mother. No, he said. But you may need to protect him from her choices. Document everything, he continued. Photos. Dates. School reports. And don't tell Laura what you're doing. Why not? Because people get defensive when they realize they're being watched. The next morning, I drove Evan to school myself. And that was the moment I stopped hoping this would fix itself, and started preparing for a fight. Principal Alvarez was waiting for us at the front entrance. Mr. Henderson, I'm glad you're here, she said. Could we talk for a moment? She walked me to her office while Evan headed to his classroom. I've been reviewing Evan's file, she said, closing the door. The incidents I mentioned yesterday are only what we formally documented. There are other concerns. She opened a folder and slid it across the desk. Teachers have been making notes for months. Evan often comes to school without a proper lunch. He falls asleep during afternoon classes. His hygiene has noticeably declined. She showed me page after page. Evan wore the same shirt 3 days in a row. Fell asleep during math. When asked if he slept well, said mom came home late and there were loud voices. Ate 4 servings at the fall festival. Said he forgot breakfast. Found hiding in the library during recess, didn't want other kids to see holes in his jacket. I felt sick reading it. Why wasn't I told? I asked. We contacted Laura every time, she said quietly. She assured us she would handle it. Legally, if a parent is responsive, we don't have grounds to contact other family members. But she didn't handle it. No, Principal Alvarez agreed. She didn't. She folded her hands. I'm a mandated reporter. I've been documenting concerns, hoping the situation would improve. But after yesterday's incident, and her delayed response, I believe I need to file a report with Child Protective Services. Do what you need to do, I said. Evan is staying with me. That's good, she replied. He needs stability. But once I file this report, it becomes an official investigation. Your daughter will be required to answer for her choices. I understand. That afternoon, I took Evan to Dr. Reynolds for a full checkup. Evan had missed his last 2 appointments. His vaccinations were behind. Had lost nearly 4 pounds since his visit 6 months earlier. Dr. Reynolds closed the exam room door. This isn't good, she said quietly. At his age, he should be gaining weight, not losing it. She pointed to the bruises. The one on his cheek is recent. But there are older bruises on his ribs and lower back. I swallowed. You think someone's hurting him? I think he needs a safe environment while we figure out what's going on, she said. I'm documenting everything. That evening, Laura showed up at my house, with Rick. I didn't let them past the porch. Where's my son? She demanded. Inside. Doing homework. I'm taking him home. No, you're not. Rick stepped forward. Listen, old man, he said. You're pushing it. This is my property, I replied calmly. And you don't get a vote. Dad, Laura snapped, you can't keep Evan from me. Actually, I said, I can. Her eyes narrowed. What? Principal Alvarez filed a report. Dr. Reynolds documented signs of neglect. The school has 3 months of records showing you didn't respond. I met her gaze. You want to explain that to a caseworker? Her face drained of color. You had them file a report. I didn't have to, I said. They did their job. Something you seem to have forgotten. I'm working hard to give him a better life, she said weakly. By leaving him alone. By letting him go hungry. By not showing up when he was hurt. She opened her mouth, but Rick cut in. Come on, Laura, he said, grabbing her arm. You don't need this. Let the old man play hero. I saw her hesitate. For a second, she looked like she might fight. Then Rick's grip tightened, and she folded. Fine, she said. Keep him for a few days. I need space anyway. They left. Through the window, I watched Rick lean toward her in the truck, saying something I couldn't hear. She nodded, shoulders slumped. Evan appeared beside me. Am I in trouble, Grandpa? He asked softly. I put my hand on his shoulder. No, buddy, I said. You're finally being protected. Is Mom leaving? Evan asked quietly. Just for now, buddy. Because of me? I knelt so we were eye to eye. No. Never because of you. Your mom's making choices that don't have you at the center. That's the problem. Over the next week, I learned more than I ever wanted to. Neighbors in Laura's apartment complex told me she was rarely home before midnight. Rick's truck was parked there most nights. Loud music. Arguments. One neighbor had called building security twice about the noise. I spoke with Evan's teacher, Miss Collins. He used to be one of my most engaged students, she said. This year, he barely speaks. He's withdrawn. Nervous. Other kids have started avoiding him. Why? She hesitated. Because he sometimes smells. Or wears the same clothes multiple days. I requested copies of all reports. 5 documented bullying incidents. Worse, 7 separate times Evan had been sent to the office for falling asleep in class, for not having supplies, for wearing dirty clothes. On Friday, the child welfare caseworker, Megan, came to my house. She interviewed Evan while I waited in the kitchen. 40 minutes later, she stepped out, her expression tight. Mr. Henderson, she said, what Evan described concerns me. You'll need to inspect Laura's apartment and speak with her directly. For now, Evan should remain with you. What did he tell you? That his mother is often gone overnight. He prepares his own meals, mostly cereal or toast, when food is available. My chest tightened. He said Rick doesn't like him, Megan continued. That Rick tells Laura Evan is getting in the way of their relationship. He said that to an 8-year-old? According to Evan, Rick says it to Laura while Evan is in the next room. She paused. Evan also mentioned Rick broke Laura's phone during an argument 2 weeks ago. She borrowed money from him to replace it. The pieces slid into place. Laura's sudden weight loss. Her jumpiness. The way she deferred to Rick in every conversation. This wasn't just neglect. Laura was trapped in something darker. I called Harold again. I think my daughter's in an abusive relationship. He sighed. That complicates things. If you push too hard about Evan, she may choose Rick over both of you. So what do I do? Document everything. Don't corner her. She needs to see the reality herself. In the meantime, keep Evan safe. The following Tuesday, Megan called. I inspected Laura's apartment. There was no food except beer and instant noodles. No clean clothes for Evan. His bedroom hadn't been cleaned in weeks. My jaw clenched. Laura admitted she's been staying at Rick's most nights, Megan continued. Leaving Evan alone after he falls asleep and returning before he wakes. She left him alone. He's 8. That's abandonment. What happens now? I'm recommending Evan remain in your care until Laura completes parenting classes and demonstrates stable housing. I'm also recommending a psychological evaluation. Her judgment is significantly impaired. That evening, Laura came alone. No Rick. She looked awful, pale, thinner than I'd ever seen her, dark circles under her eyes. Can I see Evan? She asked softly. I almost said no. But I saw something I hadn't seen in months. Fear. Regret. 10 minutes, I said. Evan ran to her and she collapsed, crying, holding him tightly. I'm so sorry, she whispered. I'm so sorry. Mom, are you okay? Evan asked. No, she said honestly. But I will be. She looked up at me. Dad, can we talk? I nodded toward Evan. Go finish your homework, buddy. When he was gone, Laura sank into a chair. Megan showed me everything, she said. The reports. The school notes. His weight loss. You didn't know. I knew something was wrong, she said, wiping her eyes. But Rick kept telling me I was overreacting. That I needed to focus on building our future. He's been manipulating you. I know that now, she said, voice breaking. He said he loved me. That we'd build something together. That Evan would adjust. She shook her head. Yesterday, Rick told me I had to choose. Him or my son. My stomach dropped. And I hesitated, she whispered. I actually hesitated. I didn't raise my voice. What kind of mother does that? She looked up sharply, ashamed. One who's being controlled, I said gently. He isolated you. Changed how you dress. Made you financially dependent. Turned your child into a problem. But he never hit me. Abuse isn't always physical, I said quietly. And for the first time, I saw understanding settle into her face. Breaking your phone. Controlling your money. Making you doubt yourself, I said quietly. That's abuse too. She sat in silence for a long moment, staring at the floor. I left him this morning, Laura finally said. He was furious. Told me I'd never find anyone else who'd put up with me. Said I was lucky he ever gave me a chance. She looked up at me, eyes red. Do you believe that? No, I said. Not anymore. She nodded slowly. When Megan showed me the photo of Evan's bruise yesterday, I really saw it. And I realized I did that. Not with my hands, but by not being there. By letting him face bullies alone. By choosing a man over my own child. I sat across from her. What do you want to do now? I want to fix this, she said without hesitation. I know I can't undo what happened. But Megan said if I do the classes, the therapy, and find stable housing I might get Evan back part-time. Do you want him back? More than anything, she said. I just don't know if I deserve him. Deserve isn't the question, I said. Can you keep him safe? Can you put him first? Yes, she said immediately. I swear to you. No more men like him. No more choosing anyone over my son. I'll do whatever it takes. Over the next 2 months, Laura proved she meant it. She moved into a small apartment a few miles from my house. She got a steady job with a property management company. She attended every parenting class and every therapy session Megan required. She visited Evan 3 times a week, always on time, always clear-headed, always focused on him. By Christmas, Megan approved supervised overnight visits. Laura decorated the apartment with Evan's help. Stocked the fridge with real food. Built routines that revolved around school nights, homework, and bedtime. In January, Evan began spending weekends with her. Every Sunday night, he came back to my house smiling. Mom made pancakes, he told me once. She helped me with my science project, another time. She didn't even look at her phone, he said proudly. She's different now, Grandpa, he said one evening. She's like she used to be. People can change, I said, when they decide something matters more than anything else. Do you think she'll stay changed? I think she learned you matter most. In March, Megan closed the case. Laura had completed every requirement and demonstrated consistent, appropriate parenting. Evan would return to her primary care, with me remaining in active support. The night before Evan moved back, he hugged me tighter than he ever had. Thank you for coming to get me, Grandpa, he whispered. When I heard Mom say I was being dramatic, I thought nobody cared. I will always come for you, I told him. Always. And your mom knows that now too. What if he comes back? He asked. He won't, I said. But if anyone ever makes you feel unsafe or unimportant, you tell me right away. Promise? Promise. Laura came to pick him up the next morning. Her eyes were swollen, She'd been crying, but she was smiling. Ready to go home? She asked. Yeah, Mom. She looked at me. Thank you for not giving up on either of us. That's what family does, I said. We show up. She nodded. She understood the weight of those words now. She hadn't shown up when Evan needed her most. But she was showing up now. And that had to count for something. I watched them drive away, Evan waving from the back seat. My phone buzzed with a message from Harold. Heard the case was closed. You did good. That kid's lucky to have you. I wrote back. We're all lucky. Sometimes it takes almost losing someone to remember what matters. 3 months later, Evan's teacher called. Mr. Henderson, I just wanted to tell you, Evan is doing wonderfully. His grades are up. He's participating again. He's made new friends. She paused. Whatever happened, it worked. He got his mother back, I said. Because in the end, that was what Evan needed most. Not perfection. Just presence. Thank you for spending this time with Rising Strong. If this story meant something to you, stay with us, subscribe to the channel and keep rising, one story at a time.